Expectations going into the 1995 Iowa Hawkeye football season were high, and for good reason. Hayden Fry's young but talented team had finished strong in 1994, going undefeated in its final 4 games, just missing a bowl game. With the nucleus of that team returning, both the media and the multitude of loyal Iowa fans knew that this could be the season that the Hawkeyes exploded back onto the national spotlight. Why the high hopes? On both offense and defense, Iowa boasted the Big Ten's best at key positions. Off the field, the Iowa team moved into its new state-of-the-art practice complex, the Jacobson Building, one of the nation's finest athletic facilities. The $8 million football facility, which was built solely through contributions by Iowa alumni and fans, ensured that the Hawkeyes would prepare for battle each Saturday with only the finest training and weightlifting equipment in the country. The 1995 battle cry, "Think Big," was certainly a fitting phrase for a team and a program on the rise. This was clearly evident during the non-conference games when the Hawks exploded out of the gate.
Right, he throws, it's intercepted, and it's going to be a touchdown. Les Atkins has it, he's in the end zone. Les Atkins gets the ball, pass intended, downfield for Dedrick Ward. Atkins stepped in front of it, bam! How quickly the game can turn around. Tim Dwight is the flanker. Here is Sherman. He goes. He passes. Dwight has the ball. Dwight at the 5-yard line. Dwight in there for a touchdown. Timmy Dwight scores his second touchdown of the day. Backing a tackler with him. He is so strong. Motion across the formation. And here's Shaw now going into the end zone, standing up. Cedric Shaw just walks right into the end zone for Iowa's first touchdown as they bunched up in the middle.
To give to Filer, and Filer rumbles up to the 40, to the 50, shakes off a tackler, he's down to the 30, the 25, still going. Rodney Filer. Big run.
And here he comes. Tavian Banks cuts and darts and dashes, and look at him go. Vintage Tavian Banks. He's in the clear. He's at the 40. He's at the 45. He's at the 50. He's down to... Now here is Sherman going out. He fakes one, goes into the end zone, has a man there. Touchdown, Iowa. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
And here's Ledbetter back to throw. He's rushed, he throws, and it is intercepted. The Hawkeyes have the ball. Les Atkins, a pass intended out there for Dwayne Gregory. Atkins picked it off, and he ran into the end zone quicker than we could even say it. Les Atkins, number 23.
The Hawks walked away virtually untested, having outscored their first 3 opponents 130-44. But at Iowa, the real season starts when league play in the Big Ten begins, and the Hawkeyes would get an early test right away against bowl-bound Michigan State in East Lansing.
In the line of scrimmage, here's Schultz going back. He rushes. Oh, man, they smack him, and the ball goes up in the air.
Oh, it is very high. Goodness, Bill Ennis in.
Here's the pitch now, going to Cedric Shaw. Threads his way upfield. He bangs his way forward. Still going and driving. He just took him and carried him right with him. What a run by Cedric Shaw.
Schultz hit by Diaco as he lets it go. The pass underthrown. Intercepted by the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Iowa had completely dominated the Spartans on both sides of the ball. Shaw's 250 yards was the second highest total in school history, and the Iowa defense had thoroughly smothered Michigan State's offensive attack. But there was little time for celebration. Indiana was next in front of over 70,000 screaming fans at Iowa's Kinnick Stadium and a national television audience.
And on the reverse, Tim Dwight around the left side, sweeping to the 50, the 40, the 30, down to the 20, and he's going to go into the end zone on the reverse. Touchdown run for Tim Dwight, a 56-yarder, and Iowa breaks down in front. Greenlee, a pass to the right side, and it's intercepted with a clear field. Tom Knight down the sideline, and he goes in for the touchdown. Tom Knight on the interception, a 60-yard return, and he has nothing but open highway in front of him.
The big play was indicative of what made this such a special team. Individual stars who cared little about individual statistics and a lot about winning as a team. Leading the way on offense was running back Cedric Shaw, who literally rewrote the Iowa rushing record book during the season. Propelled by one of the best offensive lines in the conference, Shaw slashed, cut and powered his way to over 1,300 yards rushing, a single-season best at Iowa. He twice rushed for over 200 yards, set records for carries in a game and for the season, and carried 14 touchdowns, also a record. Iowa's all-time leading rusher will add to those totals next year, his senior season, and should be a Heisman candidate. Other stars on offense contributed to the Big Ten's third highest scoring team. Sophomore quarterback Matt Sherman passed for over 2,400 yards and 14 touchdowns and was backed up by Ryan Driscoll, a starter on any other team. Slotback Tim Dwight caught the majority of Sherman's passes, totaling 773 yards and 9 touchdowns. Scott Slutzker, the Big Ten's best tight end, was Iowa's second leading receiver with 35 receptions and 504 yards. Of course, no great offense is complete without a great offensive line, and Iowa had one of the nation's best in 1995. Captains Matt Purdy and Casey Wigman anchored a unit that returned several starters and talented backups for next season.
In there! Touchdown! 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 Love it! Love it! Love it! Cedric Shaw in the end zone as he blasts through behind the blocking of Casey Wigman, Matt Purdy, Mike Goff, Aaron Quaker, Jeremy.
One of the biggest areas of improvement in 1995 was assistant head coach Bill Brazier's defensive unit. During the course of the season, they steadily improved, and in their last 2 games of the regular season, they held their opponents to a total of 7 yards rushing. Senior linebacker Bobby Diaco finished the regular season as one of the Big Ten's leading tacklers and helped educate his heir apparent at the position, freshman Vernon Rollins, who became a dominant player by the end of the year as Iowa's second leading tackler. Jared DeVries and Captain Lloyd Bickham led the charge along the line. DeVries, a freshman, tied with end Billy Ennis-Inge for the team lead with 11 sacks. The Hawks secondary became a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Ples Atkins and Tom Knight became the first defensive backs in Iowa history to return 2 Hawkeyes for touchdowns in one season. Atkins ended the regular season with 6 interceptions. Damian Robinson totaled 5, with 3 against Wisconsin alone, and Tom Knight totaled 4. Captain Chris Jackson was his usual steady self, providing leadership to the young players in the secondary. The other major area of improvement for Iowa in 1995 was the special teams. Nick Gallery led the nation in punting, averaging over 47 yards per kick, while freshman walk-on Zach Brommert came out of nowhere and connected on 33 of 34 extra points. Ryan Hurley, Iowa's long field goal kicker, nailed 2 50-yarders.
Is up and is it good?
Yes, 50-yarder.
Unbelievable 50-yard field goal.
Iowa needed wins against rivals Wisconsin and Minnesota to ensure a bowl berth. Like any Hayden Fry coach team before them, when faced with a challenge, the Hawkeyes respond. This year was no different.
Has a man open in the end zone for the touchdown. He found Berger on the far end.
Here's Bevel going back to throw once again. Bevel being pursued, flushed out of the pocket. He throws. Oh, man, is there a hit on that play? Bill Ennis-Inge just reamed him over there.
Bevel right back to pass, in trouble, and dropped. Dropped at the 12-yard line by Lloyd Bickham.
Iowa's 18 straight games against the Badgers without a loss positioned them for a berth in several interested bowls. But first, they had to dispose of a Minnesota team with one of the conference's top offenses. Once again, Iowa rose to the occasion. Not only did Iowa retain Floyd of Rosedale, the bronze pig awarded to the winner of this bitter rivalry, they ensured themselves a berth in the Sun Bowl against the Pac-10 co-champion Washington Huskies. It marks the 12th time that Hayden Fry has taken an Iowa team bowling. His 212 wins places him firmly at number 5 among active coaches, 10th all-time. During those dog days of summer, when training camp began under the hot Iowa sun, the Hawkeyes began traveling down a road that would bring them full circle, back to a warm spot in the sun. This time not in Iowa, but in El Paso, Texas. And somehow you get the feeling it'll be all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Starting from the 42, this Parker's running room for Cedric Shaw looked out. Inside the 30. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Iowa.
The folks in El Paso have nicknamed the Sun Bowl the Fun Bowl, and that's exactly what the Hawkeyes had in Texas. It was their first bowl victory since 1987, and they beat the co-Pac-10 champs, the Washington Huskies.